and have a lovely chat. All right. Hey, Linda, how's it going?
It's going good. I just have to switch this computer. There we go.
There we
It's going
go.
well. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. I really, really appreciate it. And I
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
you a
Yeah,
lot.
thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you spending time. And I know you have a really special story that's a
Mm.
goosebump kind of story. So why don't you just jump right in and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how we came to meet.
Okay, thank you. I am, of course, Linda Russell. I am now a senior citizen, which is very exciting. And I was in the radio business for 28 years. I was in media and also was an actor and voiceover work and character radio, blah, blah, blah. So I had a really hard, fast paced life. I had a very exciting life. I was very lucky, but I ran really hard. And one day I collapsed and I didn't know why, and just going to try to get help. I found out that it was adrenal fatigue. My own doctor was trying to help me. I told her, I said, I'm not into taking any type of medication. If I can, I want to solve this with, more naturally, right? And she told me that if I didn't take some medicine, which was lorazepam, that chances are that it would take me a lot longer to get better. So it was very scary having a collapse because it was a panic attack. My very first experience with panic attacks back in August of 2014. And my husband had to call an ambulance. I literally thought I was dying that day. I could just feel everything draining out of my body. My body was literally purging from my back end, and my heart was pounding. And then the paramedics showed up and attached all kinds of things to me and took me off to the hospital. And it literally took me almost, I'm going to say, for me to start feeling kind of like myself again. It took me almost 2 years to get back to, and I wasn't still back yet. And it was very scary for me because these panic attacks would occur in any places where I was starting to not wanting to go anywhere. And that was odd for me because I performed for thousands and thousands of people in my life. And now I can't even stand up and say my own name without my hands sweating, so I found it very debilitating. And so, I felt like I was getting better. And then one day I collapsed. Well, I collapsed again. I had some panic attacks. And then last year, I had 13 panic attacks in 17 days. And I got to tell you, I was absolutely scared out of my mind. I thought I was going to die. That's the only thing that was running through my head. I had gone to the emergency because my doctor had sent me there because she didn't know what to do. She didn't know how to help me. So I got there. They did some blood tests. They ran some EKGs. They found that I had a irregular heartbeat, but that didn't have anything to do with why I was having these panic attacks. So I got to tell you, I was so down and so scared. I got into the shower and I literally started crying. And I said, God, please, you have to help me. I am so desperate for help. I'm dying and I need your help. Please get me some help, because the only help I got that day at the hospital was a card that had the suicide line on it. And I'm going, but I'm not suicidal. Like, they go, oh, well, we can't do anything for you because there's no cure for panic attacks. We don't know why you're having them, and sent me home. So I prayed in the shower. I got out. I looked at my phone, and guess what? There was a message from Kendra. I don't even know Kendra. And she was saying, hey, I understand you have a place in Costa Rica. Do you mind if I pick your brain about Costa Rica? And I'm going, okay. Me being an interviewer, I go, well, what do you do? She said, well, she deals with women and women's health. And I said, have you ever had an experience of dealing with women that have had panic attacks for no apparent reason? And she said, yes, I have. And there's no such thing as having panic attacks for no apparent reason. So I thought, what do I have to lose with working with her, right? I mean, hello, I just talked to the big guy up there, and he delivery, it was just like ding dong, and there she was, right? So I thought, I'm definitely gonna work with her and see where I've got nothing to lose. So started working with Kendra, and you know, and again, you know, it was just such a different way of dealing with trying to dig down deep to find out why I was having these panic attacks. Everything from when I was a kid, you know, how many kids I've had, you know, do I have any scars? Do I have any piercings? Did I break my arm, or do I have any breaks? Do I have, you know, so I really had to go, okay, well, you know, I had this. As I thought I gave her a list of everything, and then things would pop up in my head and I go, wait a minute, I had that happen, and so on and so forth. And so we started working on me, you know, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like Kendra did all the work for me. I had to participate in this, right? But I got to tell you, I was so desperate for help, so emotionally drained. I was scared. I couldn't even go out of my own house and walk down to the mailbox without thinking, what if I have an attack? What if I get in my car and what if I have an attack? What if I get in the grocery store and I have an attack? I couldn't look
Yeah.
people in the eyes anymore. Like I wouldn't have been able to do this, you know? So yeah, so I started working with Kendra, and I found out a lot about scars because I had had some surgeries. I had a breast lift in my 40s. I had a tummy tuck in my late 40s. And like, I also had a couple of years ago, I had a breast reduction surgery. And, you know, so I never realized about what scar could do to your body. Because what I found was because of the breast area, they're down here, by the way. I know you can't see them, but anyway. So I learned that scar tissue can grow underneath the skin surface, and it can attach itself to different parts of the body, right? So I found myself with my shoulders in like this, and I couldn't really take a breath from my chest. So working on my scar tissue and breathing techniques, and also, you know, some of the pelvic moves, you know, floor on the floor and on the wall and so on. I just felt that everything started to open up in my chest. I was able to get air down inside, right into the deepest parts of my belly. And working with Kendra, I was also able to sort of go through some of the other things that have happened emotionally in my life. My parents divorced. My father was an alcoholic. I had a brother that committed suicide. I had a child that only lived for 5 hours. I mean, I had a lot of emotional, mental things going on also, but I never really sat and dwelled on that. I always went, I'm a survivor. I'm not going to have a pity party, and I'm going to make the best out of life. And one day it just caught up to me, and it just shut me down like nothing. Came out of nowhere. So working with Kendra and working on scar tissue and the tools that Kendra gave me to work on. And I mean, it wasn't like, okay, take these pills and in 2 weeks call me, you'll feel better. It was literally that I had to put time into myself each and every day with the homework that Kendra gave me, working on scar tissue and also breathing exercises, plus writing things down. Even though wasn't going to share it with anybody, it was just writing it down because it's amazing. I'm not a writer. I'm a talker. So I thought, oh gosh, you know, I'm going to get like wrist cramp. I don't know. I can't write stuff down. I can
Yeah.
talk it out, but I can't write it down. So I just started writing one day, and the next thing I know, I look up at the clock. It's an hour and a half later, and I went, holy mackerel.
Amazing.
Let the games begin. So anyway, it's a journey, but I'm telling you right now, I have not had a panic attack since the 17th one back in the beginning of September last year. And I was taking lorazepam for if I felt like I was going to have an attack or I felt uncomfortable and I didn't know what it was. So I take this lorazepam. And then since October 31st last year, I haven't had one lorazepam. And this lorazepam I've had with me since 2014 from the first attack. I mean, different prescriptions. I didn't use it all the time, but I'll tell you, after having 13 panic attacks in 17 days, I was going to take it anyway. So, which is the wrong thing to do because there was no help for me. But there is now. There's Kendra. I don't know where she would be, up or down or whatever, to my right or left. But I want to thank her really a lot because she gave me the tools that I need when I go out somewhere. Now, I'm going to tell you, when you have these panic attacks and then you start feeling better, somewhere in the back of your mind, it still holds on to that feeling that what if, what if, what if? So Kendra has given me the tools that I need to really go, are you really feeling uncomfortable? If you are, here's some things that you can think about, or start to breathe, or open up your chest. Or even what I do sometimes is I'll just reach down into one of my scars and I'll just start massaging it a little bit just to sort of to redirect my thinking, right? So, over time, I feel that if I continue to do these things, I mean, it's not like do it for 6 months and you're done. I mean, it's a health thing, right? You want quality of life. You want movement. You want to be able to have your freedom. You want to be able to feel good. These are things that you need to do. Eat right is another thing, making sure you're doing the right things, So I want to really thank Kendra for helping me. And it tickles me pink to be able to come on here. And if this just helps one person, then I will continue to do this over and over and over again for Kendra. So if any of you out there are suffering from anything and you're not sure what this is all about, I'm telling you, take the plunge, take your step into it. I'm telling you that sometimes the first step is the hardest, but once you put both feet in, and I'm telling you, if an opportunity like this comes out, like they say, if you're waiting for your health ship to come in, I would definitely swim out to this one. Okay. So, I just want to say that I'm so happy that Kendra has given me back some quality of life where I can now get on a plane. I can go down to Costa Rica. I don't have to have this fear, So thank you, Kendra, for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm so glad that we met and that as hard as that moment was in the shower, how everything just kind of
I
came
know.
together, and it's an amazing story. It's a beautiful story to share, and there's women, all over this comment, just with you, just, listening to you, resonating with you. Just they're right here in you with your story, talking about this is incredible. Like that's so much to deal with. What a miracle. Everyone's just
Yes.
really enthusiastic about what's going on with your health story. So there's so much there to comment on. But I think the main thing is when we have these things, whether it's anxiety or whatever, and they feel unknown, or we just kind of learn to try to live with them, like you have to take the medication or you have to modify your life. You're not going outside and doing the things you love. You just crunch down your world again and again. And I just want all the women to know that there are answers and they are in your scars. So once we started working on the scars, not only did it free up a lot of physical stuff, emotion, energy, but it gave you the confidence, as you're describing, to really move forward. Like that, to me, is the best thing when you feel like you have everything, all the skills that you need to move forward, that you have that kind of empowering sense that comes when you build inner trust and inner confidence, when you, like you said, do the work and go through the process. And that is not an easy journey for people to go through, but it is a necessary one. And just hearing your story, you can hear reaping the benefit of that. And as you say, you're a senior citizen. You are one beautiful, radiant senior citizen. You don't look it at all. So it's just so nice to hear your story and inspire other women. There's a lot of women saying, thank you for sharing your inspirational story. I'm reaffirming what has learned previously in the retreat this past weekend. So many women have come along over the weekend and had aha moments and learning to connect dots and start the kind of foundational process for building that confidence. So it's so nice. Everyone's pumped, so powerful. Thank you for sharing, Linda. Kendra, you're doing such amazing work. So it's
You
so
are,
great to
Kendra.
hear.
You really are. And, you know, the other thing also that I found that when I was at my lowest, and it was putting sentences together, you know, it wasn't making the connections in my head. I couldn't find the word. I just couldn't find it. It would take me time to find words. And I never had a problem to find words before, you know,
Yeah.
so, and that's the other thing, the gift of having your words, you know, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any final things that you wanted to offer? I know that just like me, it feels so good to just tell women that there's answers and that there's a
Mhm.
path forward that really sings
Yes.
to you. So if you have anything else you want to add before we close it out, please go
Yeah,
for
you
it.
know, I just wanted to say that even though, you know, our mindset or the way that you know, our medical system is, and you know, it just seems that they don't have the tools and the support to be able to sort of help us women. And I'm sure there's men and children out there, but I mean, just this journey, it has been so, I can tell you from 2014 to now it's 2021. And it's just been over working with Kendra that I've actually got my life back, you know, so it works. It really does. And it seemed a little odd to me in the beginning. I'm going, really? The scar? That's what's going on. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you've done for these women and the future women and for myself. We all
Yeah.
deserve good health. Thank you, Kendra.
Yes. Thank you so